T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
That is right. The Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. And of course, it is Thursday night, my favorite day of the week. Happy Impact Day to everyone. Oh my goodness. First and foremost, shout out to Taya Valkyrie for that amazing pop-up last night. I'm still stunned.
I mean, it's a shocker, you know, to think that they really used her as the girl, what's her name, Nicole, as a decoy to bring out Taya.
Well, what was so funny is when I jokingly was on the page on Twitter and I was just like, well, we have an idea. Let's bring out Taya.
Right.
Jokingly, not thinking that that's who that was going to be. But when you talk about one of the greatest Canadian talents of our time, you have to mention someone like a Taya Valkyrie, a Angelina Love, a Chelsea Green, Chris Jericho. I mean, the list like goes on and on and on.
Gail Kim, you know?
Gail Kim. I mean, just so
Could
many.
You imagine it would have been Gail Kim that came out?
That would have been funny. What's up? We here. We live. I told you 11:30. We here a little early tonight. But of course, I'm here with my tag team partner, Santana. If you have not been catching her on the stream, she has been streaming 2K23. It is out now for most people, I'm guessing, if not everyone.
It'll be out tomorrow officially.
For everybody. Okay.
Our early 3-day access, and you've been playing since Monday.
Yeah. We love to see it.
Then you have to wait until Friday.
Follow her on Twitch. Make sure you follow her. It is Helistic, HEELISTIC, the same as her Twitter. So make sure you follow her on Twitter as well, because she's been doing a lot of stuff. Jeff Jarrett would like a word. That's all I'm gonna say. But let's get right into it. Of course, BTI, two of my boys here. I was really torn, not gonna lie. Champagne Sing though. Like let's get into the name. Like let's get into the new name change. We know him. If you were here last week, we know this man. And the weeks before that, we know him as Raj Singh. But now he is Champagne Sing, getting a win over the outlandish Ziggy Dice, which is wild. If you are in the Atlanta area, make sure you check out Ziggy Dice is doing the Outlandish Paradise 3. And it will be in Atlanta Memorial Day weekend. I know some more information is coming. So check out Ziggy Dice is one of the many people who actually helped me when I was like really getting my start into a couple things. He gave me exclusives to some of his talent that he had, including Taya Valkyrie and Thunder Rosa. I actually got to interview Thunder Rosa on the spot. So big. I love Ziggy. Every time I see him, it's nothing but love. But Champagne Singh, he's really growing on me. I just really enjoy his charisma and the way he is in the ring. And so it's good to see some freshness out of this. I mean, did you really think that Ziggy was going to win, or were you surprised, or like, what were you thinking?
I mean, well, first, can we really get into his name? Like, is he must be a Drake fan. Gotta be.
No,
Like,
definitely.
I mean, I'm like
Canada.
Champagne Sing. Like, what? What kind of freaking name is that?
He's from Canada.
I guess gotta keep the Canadians together. Blame Canada, like South Park said.
Good episode.
Good episode. No, I didn't think Ziggy was going to win. I didn't think Mr. Champagne was going to, I mean, he is a new name. Do we get like a different side of is this like we're getting a totally new person? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this like a rebranding of him? It came out of nowhere. It's unexpected. Wasn't expecting to have a name change at all whatsoever. So I wonder where the name originally from, where what made him want to change that.
Well, maybe
we'll on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Who knows?
There it is. Well, personally, like, I'm interested.
Yeah,
I want to see what happens. I was just looking at stuff, but yeah, I want to see what happens and just where it goes from there. But great match for these to kick off before the Impact. But of course, Santana's granddaddy.
I'm coming for you, Eddie.
Oh my God. Opens up the show, and it's so wild. We'll get into more of that as the show progresses, because obviously we know what happens with that. A lot that transpired. It does sound like a Playboy name.
It does. Like, he's about to pose for Playboy.
I like it. And then, of course, we had a match with Gresham and Bailey teaming up again to go against Decay. And at the end of the match, we saw that Speedball and Jonathan Gresham were shaking hands, but it still feel like friendly competition. And we'll get into, what were you going to say?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you can obviously still tell that there is some tension between those two. They make a nice tag team. It's just like one of those tag teams that are gonna always you just feel like are just gonna always want to get in the ring with each other, against each other, not be on the same side. But they make a great tag team, I will say.
Yeah, they do.
It's cute.
So we'll see. We'll get into more things that transpire with them later in the show as well. And then we had a meetup with the trios that will be taking on Time Machine. And they'll also be taking on the Bullet Club as well. They got a lot of stuff going on. Josh Alexander, your Impact World Champion, Frank Kazarian, and Rich Swann, former champions as well. And then Steve Macklin interrupts, and he says what he has to say, and he's not impressed. And I feel like that Steve Macklin is slowly creeping up on Josh, but doing it in a more of an upfront way. He refers to Rich and Frankie as, the help at that point. I
mean, they kind of are, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like I said, they are the TNA baddies. Like, Josh has beaten both of them, and now they have, Rich has always been there, you know what I'm saying? Frankie pops up, whatever. And I mean, he's beaten both of them. Now they all in cahoots together. So
agreed.
TNA baddies,
TNA baddies. Speaking of baddies, we have Savannah and Jay joining Gisele as she speaks with Gia Miller, of course, to talk about what happened last week, but also to talk about some things she has planned for, of course, Deonna Purrazzo. Now, she mentions Deonna, calling her jealous and saying other things. And absolutely, Shaw looked amazing. She always looks amazing. She's moving up a lot. You've beat Deonna, who's a former champion. You have this way of getting people to work with you. Let Deonna tell it on Twitter. You pay for your friends. I don't know. I'm just a messenger. But then we see her trying to interact with Johnny Swinger and Ziggy Dice, and that just went completely left, and even led to a match between Jay and Johnny Swinger, which surprisingly enough, the Salt Shakers have just recently interviewed both of them. Johnny Swinger interview will drop tomorrow. What?
I said, how like coincidences did they
How coincidental is it?
end up like in a segment together and we end up interviewing both of them?
We interviewed both of them. Jay interview is out now, and then Johnny Swinger's interview will drop tomorrow. And then, of course, the match that was literally having me clutch at my pearls, Steve Maclin versus Heath. I did not know if they were going to try to piss me off. But shout out to them.
You do got to give a little bit to Heath, though. He you got to give a little bit to Heath. I mean, he's really like, I mean, for it to be making it seem like they could have Heath beat this man the same way he beat Eddie. Like, I mean,
do you hear those crickets? That's how I feel.
That's how I feel.
Me. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, like Heath has been showing, like, look, I may have you a little bit on your edge of your seat. You may be clenching your butt cheeks or something, thinking that Steve could have lost, and well, he did not. But it's the thought of making you feel that Heath gives you that heat to make you feel like,
girl, you gotta be stopped. And then this is what I feel like was a little because me and Santana, we really didn't get to talk a lot during Impact. There was a lot going on. We were also watching ROH. We were doing streaming stuff, watching people, you know, that we know, our friends that are, well, would you say that you're from, well, I don't know. They're my friends. Santana doesn't use that word very loosely.
I associate myself with them a lot, you know.
That is true. We were watching their stream, and then I was at work, obviously. So what was very like weird about this was that Jessica leaves, you know, they tell her basically they have it, but then they also reveal that they don't want to make her realize that she's Havoc. And it's crazy that Taya and Rosemary are the ones that, and I've kind of just been thinking it like, oh, it's been Jessica and Taya. But the whole time it's been Taya and Rosemary. You know, so I was, if it's one thing that I learned tonight, it's to pay attention. Like make sure you pay attention to everything, because when she gave her that title, I knew then that it wasn't a good look.
I mean, could this whole time, like, and they started talking about Magic and how she can't be around Magic and all this, and it's like, so are you trying to me personally, I feel like they're making it seem like Jessica is living in this illusion that she's really being herself. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or Havoc is being another person, and you know, it's honestly, it got your head fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. So
it does.
I don't know.
And we'll get into more of them. Obviously, they do have a match, the only knockouts match on the card tonight. So we'll talk about that a little later. Jay ends up getting a freaking win over Swinger, and I know that may not be a big deal to a lot of people. Or they may be like, oh, it's just Swinger. But this is Jay's first match.
It is.
Back in Impact Wrestling since he signed. So this is big. This is kind of a debut, you know, him getting the win. You know, these little one-off matches are cute. But I do want to see Jay be able to compete in the X Division and, you know, really even grab the Digital Media Championship. Who knows? Maybe Jay gets a championship before Gisele, and that's a storyline. And Gisele beats him for the title. Who knows? Don't steal my ideas, Impact. But Jay does get, well, actually, you can't steal my ideas because I wanted to happen. Jay gets the victory, and they stand tall yet again, Gisele. And I mean, God, look at the body. Like Gisele is just so impeccable.
Mm-hmm.
And just
well, she didn't stand too tall after that because Deonna did come out there
she
and knock her head
definitely did.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
come out there and knock her
yeah.
head down.
I didn't know if it was the next.
Mm-mm.
But yes, and then as they are standing tall for the last moments, they walk to the back and Deonna attacks Gisele. Savannah grabs Deonna, tossing her.
Mm-hmm.
And it really seems like this match at Sacrifice is more than just a rematch. It's more about who is the top knockout right now. Because we know Deonna. Come on. Like, Deonna is going to go down as one of the greatest knockouts of all time. Right. So, in my opinion.
But also, Gisele has the numbers too.
That's true.
Well. So, she has the numbers. And, Deonna doesn't really have the numbers just yet. I feel like once Sacrifice does get here, we will probably see the return of Tasha Steelz.
Yeah.
Along with maybe somebody else.
Possibly. Somebody's girlfriend?
I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. I'm interested. I'm all here for Team Adams. I want it to happen. That's all I'm saying. And then we moved on, of course, y'all.
Oh, God.
I'm so happy right now because, Eddie comes out and he says that he's going to be focusing more on Eddie. But I feel like he was lying a little bit. There was something that when he talked about Honor No More, I could just feel like there was something left off, right? And, I was always torn with Honor No More. And one of those reasonings were, first up, no offense, PCO, obviously, because of the stuff that he was having involved with Eddie. But more importantly, and me and Santana can both agree with this, goddamn Kenny King, y'all. This is the one person that kept me away from really living into Honor No More. Eddie was keeping me there. I love to see Matt Taven and Mike Bennett do their thing because I think they're phenomenal as a tag team. They believe in tag team wrestling. But PCO and Kenny King always threw me off, but it was always Kenny. And now we see the demise, obviously the downfall, the completion of Honor No More. And now we're seeing 3 of the members that are left besides Vincent. And Vincent was cool. He was indifferent. I think Vincent was just kind of there for me. But yeah, now we see this. And it's just one of those things where it's like Kenny's helping Eddie. We see him attack PCO. And for some reason, I'm not going to lie, I thought Kenny would go after Eddie. Because, Kenny, you're not going to say it, but I feel like you felt like Kenny was holding you back. You haven't done anything really. I mean, you and Speedball's match after Hard to Kill was great.
Mm-hmm.
But now, look, I'm just gonna put it out there, Kenny. I don't trust you. I think you're gonna attack Eddie. And I'm not a fan of you attacking PCO because even if Eddie infiltrated and tried to tell you what to do or whatever it may be, you had an option and you chose to side with Eddie. And I'm not trusting it. And I think Eddie should watch his back.
I think Kenny King is learning or trying to find a way to stay relevant. Let's be honest. Because even when he was doing his side missions or whatever,
side missions, great.
Been playing too much 2K. A lot of side stories going on for Kenny King before he gets back to his main plot. Yeah. And since I Don't Know More is literally lived up to their name, it just feels like Kenny has been trying to work his way around to, like I said, stay relevant. And what way to stay relevant than align yourself with someone who's always relevant? And that's Eddie Edwards.
That took a weird turn, but
yeah, it did, but not to my granddaddy because my granddaddy did whoop their ass. Okay, he was fighting, he was fighting back. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And then I'm gonna let Santana take it over just for this at least. How did you feel about this interaction? Obviously, you said I heard you because I'm what a damn customer, but I heard you talking about this brings back a lot of memories and nostalgia and stuff. So talk about like how you felt when you saw these two together.
I mean, Vladimir Cosgrove. I mean, like this is like in Santino. I mean, if you guys, those who are WWE fans, about the history that these two had together in WWE, being tag team champions, doing all kinds of funny segments and things like that together. So for this here to see them in a different promotion, a different part of their careers and everything. I mean, I haven't seen Vladimir since in a very, very long time. I mean, I know he was doing a lot of acting stuff and everything, but I mean, it was really nice to just see this here because it's just like, I wasn't expecting it. Nobody said, for me wise, if somebody did say anything about this, because the spoilers be out, but then again, this is backstage. You don't see any of this stuff at the show. So you don't know what's going on. And I'm glad that they did this backstage because I mean, it just makes it so much better to like see this interaction between them and know that it's still the same. Like nothing has changed between these two. And so I fangirled out because I love Santino. And I liked Vladimir. I like the stuff that they did in WWE. So, I mean, like, I just hate the other person that popped up on the screen. But here we are. Not Dirty Dango, because I like Dirty Dango. But
Joe Hendry.
Say his name when he appears. And
yes.
Blah, blah, blah.
And we'll get into some more things when it comes to Joe Hendry a little later. A match that was announced for Sacrifice. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And then don't forget that our Sacrifice prediction show is next week.
Jesus, March is almost over.
Done. It's done. I will literally
days for WrestleMania.
Don't even.
And I will be home.
Don't even.
Oh,
Sacrifice, literally, like the Impact shows that I've missed are literally because of MultiVerse. And then we'll be also doing we'll add in MultiVerse for next week too, since MultiVerse will be Thursday night. You'll still get a show. I can't tell you where I will be located for the show for Impact Wrestling on Thursday night, but you will still have a show. I'm gonna be very honest. I might be live at MultiVerse they get real funny, when you do shit like that. But thanks, girl. Thank you.
I should have pulled out my head. I didn't know who was wearing our hats and everything.
No,
I got one.
My hair is not done and it's washed.
Mine isn't either. So here we are.
And I'm getting my hair done in the morning, so I don't want to if I put a hat on, it doesn't make me want to put chemicals in my head and make it look like something. So
I know next time to put my head on, you just popped on the screen with your hair. I could have got my head on.
Yeah, that's true. Have another one.
I can go grab mine right quick. I'm just playing.
Listen, but yeah, we will. Oh my god, we will. We'll figure that show out. We might. Who knows? We have no game plan because we'll be separate, and so that's not the norm. Normally, you get me and Santana. But yes, and then of course we saw the interaction between Jordynne Grace and Mickie James. But before we get into the rest of the women for the night, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And Santana's actually going to continue to find her hat. And by the time we get back, she's probably going to be back too. So stay tuned. We will be back. We'll talk about the knockouts drama between Jordynne Grace and Mickie James, along with the match that we saw crowning the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions.
Hey peeps, TK Trinidad here, boss lady of Women's Wrestling Talk. And I want to say thank you so much for watching because you've got millions of options. Plus, you don't have to worry about sharing your password to check us out. But while you're here, hopefully you know we have so many more shows to watch, like Turnbuckle Glam, Raw Post Show, WOW Post Show, AEW Dynamite Post Show, Women's Wrestling Army Post Show, NXT post show, Impact Wrestling post show, AEW Rampage and SmackDown Live post show, On the Scroll, ROH post show, WWT Live, plus all of our interviews with the hottest women's wrestlers in the game. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our website at www.talkpod.com and follow us on all social media platforms at www.talkpod, and make sure to spread the word. That means send this to the group chat. Yes, even the person with the green bubble. Thanks again so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao for now.
Thank you so much. Shout out to our CEO. And of course, we have to get to the drama with Jordynne Grace and Mickie James, but the hat crew is here.
I haven't worn this hat in like a very, very long time.
That's cute.
I forgot how to wear it, but it kind of matches my hair too. So
no, it definitely does. It's giving Beyonce.
I know, right?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
But of course, Jordynne Grace wants. Well, first of all, Tommy Dreamer has booked a match, teaming up with Mickie James next week. They will go against Masha and Bully Ray. We'll talk about that as well. But Jordynne Grace is a little. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. She's complaining a lot. She wants Mickie James at like 100%. Jordynne, be for real. Like who doesn't want their opponent to be beat the fuck down right before? Girl, you want this title. You sitting over here acting like you really concerned about Mickie James' health. That is bullshit.
Hell,
you need to let Mickie James is a grown ass woman. Period. No pun intended. You need to let Mickie James do what she wants to do and have her match. And you talk about she doesn't really know blah 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 about Masha. Right. She beat her just like you beat her for that same title. She beat you for that title. Whether you think she tapped or whether you said she tapped or whatever it may be. Hold your horses, as we like to say down here in the South. Girl, you got your rematch. Sacrifice is coming. Obviously, let Masha take care of your dirty work. You're a fool to not want Mickie to go in this match. If I was you, I would just zip it and just let her do what she's gonna do instead of being, oh, I want you 100% because I'm a competitor. No. Girl, fuck all that. Is you trying to get your title back or you want Mickie to be healthy? That's what you need to think about.
So I want Mickie to be at 0% when it comes to maybe 50, maybe 25. I give it that. Yeah. If I was in a match with Mickie James, she was having a match with Masha, I want her beat down to the ground. Okay. Yeah. I want her as limping to the ring for Sacrifice. Hello? Okay. I want her to look like she just sacrificed her body.
What are we doing?
Like, I'm not gonna complain because I feel like it would make me feel weak if my opponent isn't at 100%. Hello. I'm taking advantage of the situation.
And of course, this is Women's Wrestling Talk, so we got to keep it with the women. Speaking of a situation, Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary will be defending the titles tonight before our main event. Well, a little before our main event. Against the Coven, whatever. KiLynn King and Taylor Wilde. Now, I find this to be very interesting.
Oh, damn. I thought I had the photo in there with them. I guess not.
That's fine. We did crown new champions. I find it very interesting, to be honest. I mean, Ty is not a sign. Obviously, she's all elite, so that makes sense. KiLynn King is newly signed. It was dropped this week. Shout out to, I think his name is Steve.
Yeah, Steve Fall over at
10 Count.
Yeah, 10 Count, yeah.
Yeah, he followed me. So shout out to him. Thank you for that. But she made the announcement exclusive saying that she's with Impact, a big transition. I'm not going to say bigger, but I'm going to say a big transition from what she was doing in, places like CCW and NWA. So obviously this isn't her debut match, but for her to this be her first match televised after being signed hits perfectly with her winning the title with Taylor Wilde, and Taylor Wilde has gold. I know we've even had the conversation of like what are they doing with Taylor Wilde? Could we see her, challenge for the Knockouts Championship? And she really hasn't done that as much. She did have a match with Mickie James, but all in all, wait, they did have a match in the rodeo, right?
Who?
Taylor,
Mickie and Taylor did, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's been a lot going on.
Mickey's been on a lot of rodeos, okay?
Maybe listen.
Many people to remember.
Make sure I wasn't like false. I was like,
but what's crazy though? When I thought of a tag team, I thought that I was going to get this out of Taylor Wilde and Killer Kelly, which I mean, it did happen, but it did happen.
It didn't work.
I'm just like, okay, well, you didn't want that redhead, so you got this redhead.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. I mean, I feel like if what happened on Wednesday did not happen, then it would have kind of been like, we don't really know. The news Taya was kind of done with Impact and she was going to go over to, AEW. But how long is she really going to stay in AEW? Because her husband was in AEW for like 1 or 2 times. And then after that, we haven't seen him anymore. So, and they said it's about him being all elite too. But Taya's a free agent, so she's welcome to go anywhere she wants to go. Same thing with like her husband, Johnny Wrestling, whatever.
And it makes you think because she has a title defense coming up with MLW.
She's gonna lose that too.
Underground. She's probably gonna lose to Billy Starks because obviously Billy Starks is starting to. I mean, you're gonna want some promotion is gonna want to put the title on her at some point. Taya's been holding it down. I mean, we've seen this happen with Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona was holding all these titles and he started to lose them, and yet he's still the king of the indies. Taya Valkyrie is, in my opinion, I think. This is where we're going to see Mercedes take her challenge for the AAA Reign Championship. I think Camille's in that mix too. And I think that Taya is one of the people to watch out for. Camille's one of the people to watch out for right now. And they both have had some great matches. Together in NWA, AAA and stuff. So,
I mean, Taya's been back in Impact for like, almost a year, back in Impact wise. And she's done a lot. Honestly, she's been Impact, Knockouts World Champion again. She's been holding these tag titles, even though lost and gained them again. She's been on TV countless of times. You know what I'm saying? So she's done her mark over in Impact. You know what I'm saying? It's not,
and even with her not getting, a singles championship run, like even with that, she's been in the tag team picture for the majority of the time. She did beat Deonna for the AAA Reign Championship and defended it again against Deonna and kept it and been keeping it for a while. I don't know. When they said that KiLynn King was signed, I just figured they're gonna put the title on them.
It kind of sucks that well, I mean, I can't say it sucks, but it just kind of feel like, oh dang, it's kind of makes you feel like if this, I mean, I don't know, imagine something like this could have happened at like Sacrifice and not just like on the Impact taping, you know what I'm saying? So we are headed up. We got our cute hats on. Take a picture for the people if you want.
Yeah. But then we will also, speaking of Sacrifice, we will have another match between Joe Hendry and Brian Myers as they figure out who will become the digital media champion. Will it be Hendry? Will he retain? Or will Brian Myers become champion yet again? Like I said, he would when he beat Rich Swann. Anyway, Jonathan Gresham will take on Mike Bailey after Mike Bailey, really was in the back and just kind of just doing his thing. And I think that this is going to be a very good rematch because 2 of the rematches that we're seeing were on the countdown and they were some of the best matches of the night.
That's true.
Honestly. And then of course next week we will get a tag match with Moose and Brian Myers because he doesn't know where the hell Matt Cardona is.
Where the fuck are you, Matt? Matt, Nikki, please no.
Wait. He's right here. They would take.
The man lost, and so he's never showing his face back again.
He probably won't. But listen, who knows? What's going to be really funny is if he does go back to WWE and helps Cody somehow win this title. That's what I'm hoping. Joe Hendry and Dirty Dango. You said what?
I said him and Chelsea gonna get together and go out the Miz and Maurice.
Oh God. Joe Hendry will take on will team up with Dirty Dango to take on Moose and Brian Myers, of course. And then we will also have a match, which is so weird. But the design, Angels, Diener, and Big Con will take on the team of Sheeta, Shelly, and Sabin Time Machine. So not excited about this. Can't wait to skip through it next week. Sure, and then, of course, we will also have a match with Bully and Masha teaming up. A lot of tag team shit going on, y'all. So please bear with us. Bully and Masha will be teaming up against Tommy Dreamer and Mickie James. And then, of course, we have to get to the main event. Wait. Actually, yes. We have to get to the main event. Oh, God. Oh, y'all. It's been a long night. Because all I'm going to say is this little trios between Josh and Frank Kazarian and Rich Swann, it gets me so confused, y'all. Like, oh my God, I knew that this match had happened tonight, but just like that graphic was really fucking.
I told Nikki that they had this match tonight.
The card was really fucking with me. So, but yes, and then of course Bullet Club stands tall. Lord Jesus. This is why this is women's wrestling talk and not everybody women's wrestling. I mean, every wrestling talk, because baby, oh Lordy, it's shout out to the Bullet Club. That's how we ending tonight, y'all. Yeah. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Oh God.
Oh man, you talk about a blooper.
That shit is definitely getting clipped. Like,
oh my God, this is just the funniest shit. Shout out to the Bullet Club. Any last words? That's a great way. I mean, good match for what it was. I mean, I'm not a big fan of all the men being in the ring together.
I'm not even know what to say. Shout out to the Bullet Club. I mean, the club is wearing is all champions right now.
Yeah.
These three right here though. Yeah. They're talking about. I don't know. I mean, I think they do have a match. They actually did announce that they're going to be defending their titles. At Sacrifice against Shane Haas and somebody else.
TMDK, I think is their name.
Wherever that is, I don't know who that guy is.
I think they're in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
TMDK.
But I think that's actually happening
So Shane Haas and Bad Dude Tito. No, it's happening at Sacrifice. They're going to be defending their titles there. Okay. And then like of course, you know, we'll end up going down the entire rundown. For
I had it right.
Yeah, for them. Next week when we go over the match cards.
Yeah, we'll definitely go over the match card.
My goddamn cheeks hurt, bro.
Oh my God. We'll definitely go over the match card. But yes, and of course, later today, Santana will be back with Stephanie.
Yeah, I wasn't here last week, guys.
That's true. She won't.
So if you're looking for me, you miss me.
If you're looking for me, I'll be on the. Okay. Yes. Ozzy.
That will be happening at MultiVerse, which I won't be there, and it's so
sad. Mania is crazy.
I know. It's like once you go to your first Mania, like I did last year, you know, for the whole weekend, it's like, dang, y'all had to choose LA. Y'all wanted to go all the way over there, and it's like, I'm not playing already.
I'm not I'm not too happy that it's in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super ready for Philly, but I mean, it is what it is. I know that with it being in LA, there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
Especially with WrestleCon and everything going on. So many different
Mania,
shows.
I'm fucking pissed about Wale Mania.
Yeah,
Because I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
be there. And I mean there's you got fucking Naomi in the building.
I just don't want to have like a super high expectation for Wale Mania and then it not exceed. So that's why I'm kind of just like, there's a possibility where I won't even make it to Wale Mania, depending on how long MultiVerse is. Because I'm not I'm not leaving. Like the only way I would leave is if like they were running. Because like Josh and Kushida should be last. Like run me the Will Ospreay, but then like here's the thing: Will Ospreay is suffering. Well, but he hasn't pulled out. He's only pulled out from the cup.
That's true.
But he hasn't. He still has
he's also
to.
supposed to be at WrestleCon too. Yeah, but he's also supposed to be at WrestleCon too. So I mean, that's there as well. So I mean, they've been announcing some people who's gonna be at WrestleCon and stuff like that too. And it's a bunch of other couple matches that's probably being there. I mean,
I'm a slide.
But I'll be there for WrestleMania 40 in Philly. Like that's where by that time, I don't know where I'm gonna be at next year, but by then I will probably be ready for a plane. I will say that. I may get on a plane sometime this year. I don't know, but right now it doesn't seem like it. I don't really have anywhere to go that requires me to like feel like I gotta get on a plane unless Nikki take me to Miami, and that's about it.
That's about it. No. Well, for now, we're going to get out of here. You guys make sure you follow us on Twitch. Follow
Happy
us
St. Patrick's Day for those who celebrate. Nikki's got green nails, so you're in.
I don't celebrate that holiday, but it is my niece's birthday, so happy birthday.
I mean, shout out to the Irish.
No, it's too much to go. You know, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and it be too much. It's too much going on. Too much going on in that holiday, so I don't.
What goes on that day?
The history of that day is just alarming. So, but this is Women's Wrestling Talk. Anyway, if you go out and celebrate, make sure you drink responsibly. Take an Uber if you need to. If you're in Nashville, probably one of the biggest St. Patrick's Day parties. Like it's bananas, and it's on a Friday, so enjoy that. Also, don't forget SmackDown. Like I said, Sunday we're having our first ever panel at Turnbuckle Glam. It's the Women's History Month panel. We have 2 special guests. And it's very exciting. Along with me and Santana, we also have, of course, Mika and Al are going to be there. We have Shay and Asia who do the Women's Wrestling Army. Shay also does NXT, and Asia was filling in for Mika during AEW. So you've seen all of these hosts before. You also seen Stephanie, of course, one of our big hosts here at Women's Wrestling Talk, killing it, doing her thing on the Hardy Wrestling Podcast as well. So she'll be featured. And we'll also have some very special guests with some women content creators in wrestling. So can't wait for y'all to hear it because it is a woman of color panel. So that's always fun.
So that's how we became St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Because he died on okay.
There it is. And then the also after that, we'll be back on Monday to do some stuff. We're literally 1 Monday away after this for our predictions for WrestleMania, which are going to be very interesting because we're still getting a lot of matches like succeed like to be announced. With that being said, you can of course Google Santana if you don't know. OOGLE, me, research me, you'll find me, click them keys and Google. And Google me, yeah.
Period. 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 Period.
And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Nikki Bougie. Of course, I'm holding it down, doing that thing. We'll let you know how next week's, the show after next week, we'll let y'all know what we're doing with that. Because I mean, it's live. So we might just wait, but who knows? Because whatever. We might not do a show. Who knows? But we will let y'all know next week when we figure everything out. Of course, thank you for all the likes, the follows. We've reached, we're getting really, really closer in our subscribers on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe on Twitch as well. Make sure you follow Santana on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/holistic. Make sure you check her out because she will be streaming some 2K stuff. Really cool. And
I don't see me rage over there.
The website is still a work in progress. So no recap for tonight, y'all. Everybody needs a day off, right? So no recap. You might get it later in the week, depending on my schedule. But, you know, you got the recap here, the full recap, because my recap does not include the men's on their website. But yes, continue to watch all the shows. Thank you for supporting. And of course, this is Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet.